Hey, what's up, everybody? Just on my way home from church, I had a little thought that I wanted to share. So, I'll set the scene, a little bit of context, so you kind of understand what I'm talking about. When I was in Ukraine, lived there for a couple of years. If you don't know that about me, now you do. I was living with a guy who was he was in the Air Force. I think he still is in the Air Force, actually. And I messed up my knee, and so we spent a little bit of time with me resting my knee, and we played Risk, which was a lot of fun. Now, he's a military guy and fancied himself to be quite the Risk player. And actually, he is a really good Risk player. But only multiplayer Risk, at least at the time. That's what he was good at. Now, I'm not good at board games. I do not like board games, like at all, because I get bored, right? For me, they're not B-O-A-R-D games. They're B-O-R-E-D games, right? See what I did there? So anyway, we're playing, and in multiplayer Risk, you win by conquering the world. That's the end of the game. In two-player Risk, you win by destroying the other player, and there's always like a computer, like a bot player. You just put pieces out for a player that one of you will roll for, but basically they lose. Whatever. It's just they're just people that are there. They're like the neutral party or whatever. So whoever goes first in one-player Risk has a huge advantage, because if they just place all of their people in a place so that they can attack all of your opponent's countries, you can win. And in fact, I did. I beat him 4 times in a row in the first turn. He was not happy with me. And it was because I knew what the objective was, and I did only that. I didn't worry about anything but what the objective was. Now, if you're a Risk player, you don't do that. You're a Risk player. It's all about, the name of the game is Risk. It's all about risk management, right? So you don't just you don't just spear yourself into the other player and spread yourself thin, right? There's way too much risk that way. But the reward in one-on-one is different, because you win by just destroying the other player. That's essentially what you're trying to do. So what I did was, like I said, discover what the objective was, what I wanted, which is to win, and then I just did that. I did the things that it takes to win. And I know this sounds overly simplistic, but way too often in life, I know, because I have been this way, and I'm still this way, and I know everybody that I know is this way. There are things that we feel like we should do, and they do nothing for us. There are whether it's ritual, whether it's a religious thing, whether it's family related, whatever it is, there are things that we feel obligated or duty bound to do that don't do anything for us. Like, it doesn't bring us any closer to what we want out of life. And I am convinced that happiness in life is directly proportional to the number of activities that you are currently engaged in, whose sole purpose is to get you what you want out of life. All right, so let me break that down a little bit. Number one, happiness is getting what you want. Okay, getting what you desire, and I don't mean want like for me there are 2 different kinds of wants. There's lowercase wants and there's uppercase wants. Lowercase wants are I want ice cream today. I want to go to the movies tonight. I want to go to the beach today. I want chocolate ice cream versus vanilla ice cream, right? It's just like what we usually think of when we think of wants. The uppercase wants that I'm talking about are like our deep desires. Like, I really, like right now, I really, really, really want to get good at Muay Thai. And most of my energy is spent on getting good at Muay Thai. In fact, the large majority of my energy is spent on getting good at Muay Thai. And everything else that I do, work, I work and I go to Muay Thai. That's what my life is like. Everything else that I do gets me closer to that goal. I have to work to pay the bills so that I can actually pay to go to the gym, right? So at this point in my life, I only go to work so that I can keep going to Muay Thai. And actually, I go to work so that I can pay for my rent, so that I can still live in a place which is close to the gym where I work out at, right? So it's all very, very closely connected. And I have never been happier in my entire life than I am right now. Now, I'm not there yet. I'm definitely not that good. I've only been doing this for about a year, and I'm not like, I consider myself as novice as they come. But I know what I want, and I'm doing that. And that's it. And it's working for me, right? So I'm convinced that that's what it is. Now, that's based on my own experience. So I don't know if that's the case for everybody, but that's my experience. Now, a big part of the problem I see you look around, you notice things, you talk to people, and they have issues, and I have some good friends that deal with some things, and I've dealt with some things, and it can seem easy to get down on yourself and on life because certain just things are going wrong. But again, I'm convinced that the way to being happy and getting what you want out of life is, number one, knowing what you want, and then number two, just doing those things. It's really hard to know what you want. It took me a long time, a year almost, to figure out that what I wanted was to be good at Muay Thai right now. Like, I don't really care about anything else. Now, there's another thing, sort of a sub point here that I want to point out, which is, remember I talked about lowercase w and uppercase w? So lowercase w, those things that we want, most of the time, I'd say 999 times out of 1,000, the lowercase wants are they are there because there is a situation that's uncomfortable to a certain degree. So they're there to ease discomfort, right? It's, I want to go drink, or I want to watch a movie, or I want to eat ice cream, right? Those things, those are like bad, painful situations. And there's things like, I am sick of this diet. I'm going to eat a hamburger, right? I want that. Whatever it is, I want, like, if you're hungry, I want to eat. If you're craving ice cream, I want ice cream. It's not that deep in your soul, you just want ice cream always. It's that in that moment, there's something that's uncomfortable that's driving you towards that. Now, the funny thing is, getting those lowercase wants bring you no closer to being happy. There's satisfaction and pleasure that can be gained by satisfying the lowercase, the lowercase wants. But those don't bring you happiness. They don't get you any closer to what you actually want, because they're just sort of like they're like symptoms. They're like smaller things. They're not really the big issue, which is the really deep-seated desires. Here's the thing: a lot of energy in the world, I've noticed, is expended trying to be satisfied, meaning satisfy the lowercase wants. Oh, I'm so tired. I just want to sleep. I'm so tired. I'm just going to sleep in today. I'm not going to go to the gym. Oh, I'm depressed. I'm going to go drink. Oh, I'm depressed. I'm going to take drugs. Oh, I'm craving ice cream. I'm going to go on an ice cream binge. Oh, my boyfriend just broke up with me. My girlfriend just broke up with me. My wife just left me. I'm really sad. I'm going to go on a bender and go hang out with my friends and drink and get wasted and just make terrible life decisions. Right? Lowercase wants. Those are all trying to find satisfaction in uncomfortable situations. We don't ever want things. We don't want for things when we're satisfied, because there's nothing to want. We have it. You don't. If you just ate and you're full, you're not hungry. If you just had some ice cream and you scratch that itch, or if if it hit the spot, you don't want it anymore because you already got it. But it doesn't bring you any closer to being happy. It just brings you temporary satisfaction. And some of those things, that satisfaction is so temporary that after you get what you want, you have to pay for it with emotional, physical, spiritual pain for days. And it is, it's scary. You take drugs, you get addicted to drugs, and then you got to deal with that. You take drugs, and then you're hungover, you're wasted for a couple of days, and go get plastered, right? You go drink, and And then then your whole life revolves around this cycle of recovering from and then diving back into a state of drunken stupor. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And it doesn't get you any closer to what you want, which is to be happy. That's what we want, is to just be happy with life. But the key is you have to be able to separate the lowercase wants from the uppercase wants. And some people say want and need, and I don't like that, because it's not that you need the uppercase wants. They are wants. I don't need to be good at Muay Thai at all. I can survive. I can be happy. I can. Well, happy, maybe not. If I had never even been introduced to Muay Thai, I could still be happy. But right now, that's what I want to do. And so I'm just doing that. So I think the important thing, and this video has gone way longer than I wanted it to, but it's fine. The important thing is, number one, you have to discover what you really want. Sometimes, sorry, I'm going to go a little bit longer because this is an important point. Sometimes you have to go through a couple of things. You have to think you know what you want and go after that to realize that that's not really what you want. I picked up cycling for about 6-8 months. I really liked it, and I still really like it, but it's not really what I want. It's not like a deep desire of mine anymore. Played a lot of volleyball, and for a long time, my happiness level was directly connected to the amount of volleyball that I was playing, how good I was getting at volleyball. Now it's Muay Thai, right? So sometimes you go through phases where you have to think you like something, think you want something, go after it, and realize that's not what you wanted. So that's the first step, right? Figure out what it is that you want. And then the second step is figure out what it takes to get that. And the third step is the simplest of all. Do the thing from step 2 and nothing else. Don't worry about anything else except the thing from step 2. Everybody else in the world is not your responsibility. Their happiness, not your responsibility. Your happiness is your responsibility. And so you can't say, oh, well, I should be doing all these other things to help other people be happy. No, you can't help people be happy if you're not happy. What are you leading them to? Trying to help people when you're miserable with life. What do you think you're helping them do? Helping them become like you? Do you want people to be miserable like you? If you do, you don't. If you do, you don't. You don't. No, that's not the truth. So, step 1, figure out what you want. Step 2, figure out what it takes to get that. And step 3, do that and nothing else. That's how you get happy. That's my little Sunday rant for you. I'm out.